All right, so learning perimeter, circumference, and area. The circumference of a circle is the distance around the circle. The area is the number of square units needed to cover the surface. We have a formula for circumference, 2 pi r, or we can use pi d, but we're going to be doing 2 pi r for what we're working with today. And then we have a formula for area. It is pi r squared. 2 pi r for circumference and pi r squared for the area. You can use the distance formula to calculate the radius of a circle and then use the appropriate equations for the circumference and the area. You are going to need a calculator today, so if you do not have your own personal calculator for use, please go up and grab one of my yellow calculators before we get into these problems. If you do not have your own personal calculator, please go and grab one of my yellow calculators off of the cart. Right. So for all of these problems, we need to know how big the radius of the circle is. The radius is the distance from the center to a point on the edge of the circle. So if I look at example number 1 here, part A, C is marked as the center, and point D is on the edge of the circle. So I'm going to connect those two with a line segment. This distance right here is our radius. And we want to find the length of the radius, so we're going to have to do the distance formula. So we have to pick one of our points to be x1, y1, and one point to be x2, y2. I'm going to let C be my x1, y1, and I'm going to let D be my x2, y2. So now the distance from C to D is equal to, and then we have that big long square root sign. We did this in module 1 where we found the distance of things. Big long square root sign. x2 minus x1. So I have 6 minus 4. Close my parentheses and square it. Plus y2 minus y1. y2 is 3. Minus y1, which is 8. Close my parentheses and square it. Now we're going to go through and simplify each of those sets of parentheses. What is 6 minus 4? 2. So I have 2 squared, bless you. Plus, what is 3 minus 8? Negative 5. So we have negative 5 squared. Now, what happens when we take any type of number and we square it? We get what type of number in return? Always a positive. Remember, your calculator will lie to you about that if you don't use the parentheses on your calculator. You absolutely have to use the parentheses. 2 squared is 4. Negative 5 squared is 25. So I have 4 plus 25 that I'm going to add together. Underneath my radical, that gives me 29. And now we need to know what that is in decimal form. So pop that into your calculators and tell me what you get out to 3 decimal places. 5.385. Fantastic. This is the radius. That is our radius. Now we want circumference and we want area. Circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. So for my circumference, we do 2 times pi times 5.385. Pop that into the calculator and tell me what you get. Once again, we'll take it out to 3 decimal places. And we're going to use the pi button on the calculator, which is right here. It's located 2 buttons underneath the green second key. There is a pi button on the calculator that we're going to be using. Okay, so to get to that one, you're going to have to push the shift key and then this button down here. So like that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. What do we get? 33.834835, depending on how you round that very last digit. Yeah, 33.835 or 33.834, I would accept either one as fully correct. So there's our circumference. Area is pi times the radius squared. So for my area, I have pi times 5.385 squared. And you do have a squared button on your calculator. You should be using the pi button and the squared button. What do we get here? Take it out to 3 decimal places. Yep, 91.101.102. That very last, that third digit, I'm not going to get real picky about. I do want you guys to take it out to 3 places, but I don't get real picky if your very last digit is just a little bit off from mine. So 91.101, 91.102, I would accept either one. All right. Nicely done. Let's try another one to practice with. So first we find the length of the radius using the distance formula, and then we take that answer and we use it to find the circumference using 2 pi r, and to find the area using pi r squared. So example B, number 1, part B. We have 2 points. This time D is the center and C is on the edge of the circle. Let's let C be our x1, y1, and let's let D be the x2, y2. So now finding the distance from C to D equals big long square root sign, open up parentheses. We have x2, which is 0, minus x1, which is -3. So he goes inside his own special set of parentheses, close my parentheses and square that, plus y2, which is -6, minus y1, which is 1, close my parentheses and square that. Now, what happens back here where we are subtracting a negative? Yes, it's going to turn into addition. So we have the distance from C to D equals big long square root sign. This becomes 0 plus 3 squared plus -6 minus 1 squared. So the distance from C to D is equal to, what is 0 plus 3? 3. So 3 squared plus, what is -6 minus 1? -7. Close my parentheses and square that. What is 3 squared? 9. Careful here, what is -7 squared? 49. We add 9 and 49 together and we get what? 58. So underneath the radical, I have 58. And then we pop that into our calculators. What is the square root of 58 taken out to 3 decimal places? 7.616 if we take it out to 3 decimal places. Here's our radius. All right, so circumference now. Circumference equals 2 pi times the radius. So I have 2 pi times 7.616. Make sure you're using the pi button on the calculator. If you don't know where to find that, please let me know. On my yellow calculators, that is located 2 buttons underneath the green second key. That's where our pi button is. What do we get when we do 2 pi times 7.616? 47.853, yes. So there's our circumference. Then for area, we do pi r squared. So my area, I have pi times 7.616 squared. What does our area come out to be? Yes, 182.223 for our area. Very nicely done. All right, let's flip the page. We're going to summarize up at the top of the page, and then we're going to do 2 more examples and call it a day. All right, so our summary up at the top of the page. For the area of a circle, area equals pi r squared. Area equals pi r squared. Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. And how do we find the radius? We use the distance formula. The distance formula, as a reminder, is the distance d is equal to big square root x2 minus x1, close the parentheses and square it, plus y2 minus y1, close the parentheses and square it. All right, let's look at number 2, part A. It says find the circumference and area of each figure. So we need to find the radius, the distance from the center to a point on the edge of the circle. So this right here would be my radius. I need the ordered pairs for that so that I can use it with my distance formula. We can see where the origin is right here. What would the ordered pair be for the center? -2, -3. -2, -3 is going to be the ordered pair for the center there. And what about for this point that is on the circle? -3, 2. Because we do our left-right movement first and then our up-down movement. So we have to let one of those be our x1, y1, and one of those be our x2, y2. Let's let -3, 2 be the x1, y1. And let's let -2, -3 be the x2, y2. So we're going to find the distance of our radius. I don't have point names, so I'm just going to say radius equals big, long square root sign x2, which is -2, minus x1, which is -3, so he goes inside his own special set of parentheses there. Close my big set of parentheses and square it. Plus, and then we get a new set of parentheses. We do y2, which is -3, minus y1, which is 2. Close my parentheses and square it. Now, what happens in this first set of parentheses where we are subtracting that negative? Turns into addition, yes. So my radius is equal to big square root sign. That would be -2 plus 3 squared plus -3 minus 2 squared. What is -2 plus 3? 1. So I have 1 squared plus, what is -3 minus 2? -5. So I have 1 squared plus -5 squared. What is 1 squared? Just 1. Plus, careful here, what is -5 squared? 25. So we're going to add those two together now. My radius is equal to the square root of 26. And what is the square root of 26 taken out to 3 decimal places? 5.099, yes. All right, let's see if I can take all of my work here and squish it a little bit. Scoot it all up so that I have enough room for my other bit. Because now we need the circumference and the area. So for circumference, oh, I am sorry, guys. Let me take that back. There we go. Good grief. There. Circumference. 2 pi r. So circumference is equal to 2 pi times 5.099. What is 2 pi times 5.099? 32.038. There's our circumference. And then we still have to do area. Area is equal to pi r squared. So area is equal to pi times 5.099 squared. So what is our area then? 81.681. Yes. All right. I would like to give you guys the next 3 minutes to do part B on your own, and then we will go over it together. Take the next 3 minutes to do part B on your own, and then we will go over that one together. So before we can figure out the length of the radius, the distance from the center to this point on the edge, we're going to need some ordered pairs for the center and for the point on the edge. What's the ordered pair for the center? -3, 4. And what's the ordered pair for the point that's on the edge of the circle? 1, -2. Love it. Love it, love it. Let's let -3, 4 be our x1, y1. And let's let 1, -2 be the x2, y2. If you did it the other way around, you should still end up with the exact same answer as me at the end. So then our radius is equal to, we need a big long square root. We do x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is -3. Close my parentheses and square that, plus y2, which is -2, minus y1, which is 4. Close my parentheses and square that. So then the radius is equal to the square root. Here in this first set of parentheses, when we subtract the negative like this turns into a positive, so that becomes 1 plus 3 squared plus -2 minus 4 squared. So that gives me 4 squared plus -6 squared. 4 squared is 16. -6 squared is 36. What is 16 plus 36? 52. So underneath my radical, I have 52. And what is the square root of 52? 7.211. So that's what we're going to use as our radius. Then we come in and circumference is 2 pi r. So circumference is 2 pi times 7.211. What is 2 pi times 7.211? 45.308 for our circumference. And then for the area, we do pi r squared. So pi times 7.211 squared, which comes out to be about how much? Yes, 163.358. Absolutely fantastic work. All right. Your homework is 5 practice problems like these. 5 practice problems like these. It is due tomorrow because it is a shorter assignment and also because we just finished up the entire module. Tomorrow, you guys will take your last skills check of the module after we grade the homework, and you will get the test review for the test on Thursday. Test is Thursday this week.